When you laugh in my ear is a sexual organ, and no matter how I position my body, I can do nothing to change your resonance, much less to influence its source. But I can totally ride with it. So I do, squeezing you hard so I can hear you better. Do you know how many folds there are in the ear? And by folds, I mean things I can fan out to better receive your sound shenanigans. I don't know, but I'm gonna visualize something abstract and work with that. Something sharp enough to snap your waves immediately and fully so we're interlocked. Me open, receiving. But receiving so everything that you find yourself lying next to a black hole. You can't hear yourself because I'm swallowing it all. And there are no acoustic reflections. Nothing comes back to you, except for mine, our presence. But I doubt if you care about having your voice taken away. Because if someone were here, they would tell you how happy we look in our roles. Except there is nobody, and there are no roles. And it is so hard to remember this later, because as soon as the tangible effects wear off, the whole experience isn't believable, and we spend dull hours inventing conversations that bypass all our irreconcilable differences. So when we finally recuperate and can laugh again, we're still together. The kids, quote unquote, forgot their parents in the border zone. They quote unquote forgot their parents in the border zone. What now? What now? The abandoned kept asking and wondered around the border fence and around the border wall and around the river that was conveniently made into a border. But the fence wasn't a fence. It was a candy fence. And the wall wasn't a wall. It was a candy wall. And the river was a river. It was beautiful and clean. The candy fence was, let's say, nutritious. It wasn't just sugar. And the candy wall was, let's say, nutritious. It wasn't just sugar. And the river was beautiful and clean. So they were doing just fine, licking the candy fence, biting into the candy wall, drinking from the river, and enjoying the increasingly long walks, the gradual vanishing of the fence, and the gradual vanishing of the wall necessitated. The abandoners eventually came back, expecting to find just a pile of bones, but finding a, let's say, thriving community of those who they had abandoned. They mustered an apology and politely, but incessantly, inquired about their miraculous survival. Oh, we ate the fence, and we ate the wall, and we drank from the river, said the abandonees. The abandoners didn't believe them, so the abandonees took them for a very long walk. By then, they had licked away tons of the candy fence, and they had beaten away tons of the candy wall. When they reached the still existing parts of the fence, and the still existing parts of the wall, everything looked perfectly normal to the abandoners. And they looked at the abandonees with disbelief. So the latter silently motioned to the former, suggesting that they should taste the fence. and that they should taste the wall, and that they should taste the river, which the abandoners with a noticeable hesitation did. They licked the fence, and to them it tasted like steel. They beat the wall, and to them it tasted like brick. They drank from the river, but their imagination was so preoccupied with the bodies of those who must have drowned in it while attempting to cross the border, surely now resting on the bottom, that they couldn't taste the water. The prison was close to the kindergarten, and the security was lax. So we could walk to the art class and hold hands, which was the only time we touched, unless you consider the shared act of creation a form of touch. We and the kids worked on a painting, a regular landscape scene with a twist. There were multiple suns. Each morning, before we started, we sat down and argued passionately about how to proceed with the suns that were started by the kids or the prisoners who that day couldn't attend the class. We talked until we felt confident to continue the revision, and we could tell by how it felt on the hand while walking back if we gave it justice. A NeoNazi Band accidentally sent their stuff to our village. We tossed a coin, who should play what, and redid their songs, adding saxophones, percussion, swing, atonal melodies, messages of unity, openness, tolerance, and peace. We became big and toured. And when we played the neo-Nazis' hometown, we called them to join on their new songs, and they loved them. We fucked, talked about racism, fucked some more, talked about racism more, and got hungry. Our cooking was funny. If a hair would fall into the food and burn and smell funny, it would never occur to us not to eat the food. We cut back on sugar, and our sex life became vivid and free of desires to subjugate. We became interested in, and eventually really good at reading our faces, which is what we did for days, out loud, and the reads were deep and terrifying. We would scream, and the concerned and caring neighbors would leave us notes like, all roles are dangerous. The world tends to trap on and immobilize you in the role you play. It's not always easy. In fact, it is always extremely hard to maintain a kind of watchful, mocking distance between oneself as one appears to be and oneself as one actually is. Lay on me, you said. And you said, no, not like this. The whole body. I want to feel the weight. And in no time you said, enough. You said, enough. Get the fuck off of me. I can't breathe. Get the fuck off. I took off my body, but I didn't take off any weight. We used the weight to hold down our love. We wanted to pull all the weight behind our love. And we wanted nothing but the most weight to hold the love. I can't breathe, you said. I said, do you want me to keep going? Never. You said, never stop. I propped up a fake body under the weight and left.